Texas, July 16, 2026. Fast-rising floodwaters triggered dozens of water rescues, forced evacuations, and closed roads across Boerne on Wednesday after torrential rain overwhelmed Cibolo Creek and nearby waterways. Boerne police responded to 109 calls for service, including 36 water rescue calls, as heavy rain pounded the area from about 8 a.m. until 2:45 p.m. Officials said 3 people trapped in vehicles had to be rescued by swift water rescue teams, while 53 residents received temporary shelter assistance. No injuries or fatalities were reported within the city. The flooding came after the Boerne area had already received 4 to 6 inches of rain earlier in the week, leaving the ground saturated and Cibolo Creek running high before another 9 to 10 inches of rain fell on Tuesday. As floodwaters rose, city officials issued emergency alerts, urging residents living along Cibolo Creek in the Evergreen, Yoalana, and West San Antonio Avenue areas to voluntarily evacuate or prepare to shelter in place. River Road was closed in all directions, and residents along the roadway were urged to seek higher ground if it was safe to do so. Officials also advised residents along Ranger Creek Road to shelter in place. An area currently experiencing dangerous flash flooding is the Texas Hill Country, where more than 100 flood deaths occurred in July 2025, including dozens of girls at Camp Mystic. Governor Greg Abbott said in a press conference on Wednesday that disaster declarations have been made for 59 counties, with the possibility of more being added. He said that more than 75 people have been rescued so far, and that the expected rainfall from this storm could exceed 30 inches, more than 10 inches from what fell during last year's deadly floods. "We are dealing with and responding to a flood that is likely going to break records," Abbott said. "There are over 1,300 state personnel from more than 30 agencies that are already activated. More than 800 vehicles, more than 75 boats, and 20 aircraft have been deployed. Our primary focus right now, and throughout the remainder of this torrential rain, is saving lives." At the trails at River Road Apartments, resident Tina Noland said rising water quickly surrounded the complex, prompting residents to run upstairs as they waited for conditions to improve. Although the water eventually began to recede, Noland said the National Guard soon arrived with an urgent recommendation. Noland said she and other residents evacuated to a temporary shelter, fearing another round of flooding. Elsewhere, Rosalinda Flores chose to shelter in place at her home along Cibolo Creek on Yoalana Drive. She said she woke to the sound of rushing water outside her home. Flores, who said the last major flood she experienced was the 1998 flood in Del Rio, planned to move to the second floor of her home if conditions worsened. By Wednesday, the city of Boerne and Kendall County officials had signed a local disaster declaration to support emergency response, damage assessments, and recovery efforts. Officials said no evacuations were currently warranted elsewhere in Kendall County, but several low-water crossings remained closed while crews inspected roads for damage and cleared debris as floodwaters receded. Authorities continue to urge residents to obey road closures and never drive around barricades, warning that even after the rain ends, fast-moving water and damaged roadways can remain deadly. Much of the region lies on a floodplain between tall hills, funneling rainfall into rivers and creeks and causing them to rise rapidly. In addition, clay soil does not readily absorb water and leads to high water runoff once wet, according to the Texas Water Resources Institute.